People judge your authority in the first 3 seconds of hearing you speak, and most men are failing that test without ever knowing it. Every meeting you've walked into, every room you've tried to lead, every time you felt like your words landed wrong, the problem wasn't what you said, it was the voice that carried it. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why your voice is costing you respect, and you'll have a concrete 30-day system to change it. A 2014 study out of Duke University found that CEOs with deeper, slower voices ran companies averaging $440 million more in assets. That gap starts the moment you open your mouth. That Duke study isn't an outlier, it's a warning. And here's what most people miss about it. The CEOs weren't born with those voices. Voice is a physical instrument. It has muscles, chambers, posture, and mechanics. And for most men, those mechanics are broken, not from genetics, but from habit. Decades of shallow breathing, shoulders rolled forward, speaking from the throat instead of the chest. A 34-year-old engineer in Seattle doesn't sound weak because of who he is. He sounds weak because his body has been trained into weakness. The vocal folds are muscles. Muscles respond to training. That's the entire premise of this program. But here's where it gets interesting. The first thing most voice coaches tell you to fix is dead wrong. The wrong fix is pitch. Every amateur tells you to speak lower, drop your voice, sound deeper. And men spend years forcing a low pitch that sounds strained, fake, and hollow. That's not authority, that's theater. The real foundation is resonance, where in your body the sound vibrates. A forced low pitch lives in your throat. A resonant voice lives in your chest and face. You can feel the difference with one drill. Press 2 fingers to your sternum. Hum. If you feel nothing, your voice is trapped above your collarbone. Days 1 through 5 of this program fix exactly that. The drill is simple. 10 minutes of chest humming daily, working up from a comfortable mid-tone and descending slowly, not forcing, allowing. By day 5, you'll feel your entire rib cage activate when you speak. And once that happens, something strange occurs. People lean in when you talk, even when you haven't raised your volume at all. The reason why is the next thing we're going to break down. Resonance tells people where to listen. Breath tells them how much power is behind the words. This is the part most people miss entirely. Weak voices don't run out of ideas, they run out of air. Mid-sentence, the voice trails off. The authority evaporates. You've heard it. You've probably done it. The fix is diaphragmatic breathing, not chest breathing, belly breathing. Actors learn this in year 1 of drama school. Military officers train it for command projection on a parade ground. The diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscle beneath your lungs. When it contracts and drops, it pulls in far more air than shallow chest breathing ever could. Days 6 through 10 are one drill. 4 counts in, 4 counts hold, 8 counts out. Twice daily, 10 repetitions. That's it. It sounds almost insultingly simple. But by day 10, your sentences stop collapsing. Your voice stops climbing at the end of statements, that vocal uptick that makes every declaration sound like a question. And that uptick, that single habit is quietly destroying your credibility every single day. Here's why it's even more damaging than you think. That vocal uptick, ending statements as questions, is a pacing problem as much as a breath problem, and pacing is the most underrated authority signal in human communication. Research from the University of Michigan shows that people who speak at around 190 words per minute are rated as significantly more credible than those who speak faster or slower. But here's the real variable. It's not average speed, it's range. Authoritative speakers deliberately slow down at key moments. They speed up through background information. They weaponize variation. Think of the last person who commanded a room you were in. They didn't speak in a monotone rush. They moved. Days 11 through 15 are about mapping your pacing. Record yourself reading a paragraph at normal speed. Count your words per minute. Then reread it. Slow every important word by 50%. Stretch the vowels. The words you slow down become the words people remember. This is how lawyers win closing arguments. This is how generals move troops. And it leads directly into the single most powerful tool in this entire program, one most men are too uncomfortable to use. The tool most men are too uncomfortable to use is silence, the strategic pause. This is the biggest reveal of the entire program because it runs completely counter to every instinct you have. When you feel social pressure, your brain tells you to fill the air, to talk faster, to explain more, to justify. Every one of those instincts is hemorrhaging your authority in real time. The pause does the opposite. A University of Amsterdam study found that speakers who paused for 2 to 3 seconds before answering questions were rated as more intelligent, more confident, and more trustworthy than those who answered immediately. 2 to 3 seconds, that's it. It feels like an eternity. It reads as power. There's a name for this in negotiation training, the controlled void. You speak, you stop, you let the silence expand, and the other person fills it. Chris Voss, the FBI's former lead hostage negotiator, built an entire methodology around this principle. Days 16 through 20 train exactly this. Every conversation you have, you pause before responding. 2 full beats, no filler, no so, just controlled, deliberate silence. By day 20, that pause will feel natural, and the room will feel different. Now you can see why everything we built in the first 15 days was setting up this exact moment. Knowing the technique is one thing, holding it under pressure is another. Days 21 through 25 are the hardest stretch of this program, and the most valuable. This is stress inoculation for your voice. When adrenaline hits, before a tough conversation, a presentation, a confrontation, your vocal tract constricts, your pitch rises, your pace accelerates. You sound exactly the wrong way at exactly the wrong moment. The fix is pre-activation. Before any high-stakes situation, run this sequence. 3 diaphragmatic breaths, 1 chest hum, and 1 sentence spoken aloud at half speed. That takes 90 seconds. What it does is override the stress response before it can hijack your voice. Navy SEALs use a version of this called tactical breathing before breaching rooms. The principle is identical. The drill for this week: deliberately enter uncomfortable conversations. Call in favors. Negotiate small things. Have the talk you've been avoiding. Do it with the pre-activation sequence first. Your voice will stay where you trained it. But there's one final layer, and it's the one that locks everything in permanently. Days 26 through 30 are not about adding new drills. They're about integration, making every element automatic. Resonance, breath, pacing, the pause, pressure proofing. You stop thinking about them individually and let them operate as a single system. This week, the only instruction is this: record a 2-minute video of yourself speaking about anything. Watch it back with the sound on, then with the sound off. On sound, track your pacing and pauses. On mute, watch your posture, your stillness, your jaw. Authority is also visual, and by now your body should match your voice. A 2011 study from Princeton found that people form lasting impressions of competence from exposure as short as 37 milliseconds, shorter than a single video frame. Your voice and your body language are sending a signal in that window every single time. By day 30, that signal should be different, not because you memorized tips, because you physically rebuilt the instrument. And here's the thing nobody in the self-improvement space wants to say out loud, because it undermines everything they sell.
The thing nobody wants to say is this: mindset does not change your voice. Confidence does not change your voice. Reading about authority does not change your voice. Only repetition changes your voice. 30 days of physical training changes your voice. You walked into this video thinking you had a confidence problem, or a presence problem, or a leadership problem. You don't. You have a training problem, and training problems have training solutions. Start tonight. 1 chest hum, 10 minutes. That's day 1. If this program resonates with you, subscribe, because there are more of these coming. Every system, every skill, broken down into days and drills. This is the channel that builds you.